Well, welcome back, you beautiful spuds. So, for this video, I wanted to let you know what you're getting into. I'm going to call this something that it isn't, but this is what I'm going to call a speed run of a whole bunch of play sessions. Now, you're thinking, speed run does not mean what you think it means, because that means you're trying to do something and you're doing it like min-maxing, where it's like the best way to do. And when I'm saying speedrun, which again is not the correct term, I don't know what the right term is, I'm actually saying this is me finding out that I might have a problem, and Stardew Valley, weird as it may be, and maybe I'm offending you, dear Spud, who's watching this, because you may love Stardew Valley. I never thought I would really enjoy this game, so I'm kind of like in the 5 stages of, I don't know, I guess grief is not right, but like I've gone through denial, and somewhere I'm getting towards acceptance of, I think I might like this game. And so I'm joining the bandwagon late. I know this game's been out a long time, and needless to say, I really like it. So there was a couple times that I wanted to sit down, like I'd come home from lunch, and I was like, I'll just play like a day, because the days are really quick, of course, if you've played this game, you know. And so I was like, okay, let's just run through real quick, do a day, maybe 2, and then I'll just jump off. And while I've streamed most of my play, actually all up until now, I have all these little mini sessions, some not so many, but I did none of them live streaming, and so far I haven't like skipped over anything, though for this video I am going to kind of like skim through some of the major things. And I think this video is going to be different like the other one, since I don't have audio of while I was playing. I just figured I would just pick a random story, something about me from my past, and just kind of, I don't know, you're here, you're floating with me, you're watching this, you're probably not. Realistically, you're probably no one. I'm just going to be honest, I'm nobody, and I don't really think any of my content is that great to watch. I'm still enjoying making it, so I'm just going to tell me, future me, or whoever's there, I'm just going to talk into the void. If you're here floating with me, dear fellow Spud, thank you so much. Thank you. No. Really, listen. Thank you. From the bottom of this big Spud's heart. I appreciate all the love and support. And, I would give me a like. Subscribe if you haven't. And, of course, check out all of my content. I have a wide range of stuff. I have been going through and archiving and deleting some of my old stuff. Not a whole bunch, but I'm doing some purging. Not necessarily that I'm just ashamed of it, or I just feel like there's so much, I think some of it is okay. A lot, I'm real bad about starting things and then I don't finish them. So in some cases, I'm just kind of removing some stuff that it never got completed. It never really was watched, and I guess it's just unfortunate if you're enjoying and trying to watch my videos. I guess, if it's not there, I let it breathe. No one watched it. It's, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to keep making more stuff, so hopefully I'm just going to keep making stuff, and maybe good stuff, maybe better stuff than what I've made. I'm always trying to be the best Spud that I can be and trying to improve my craft. Though I will say, if you go to all the way back and start watching some of the stuff I did in the beginning, I would have to say, hands down, I have really improved in the 2 years and some change that I've been doing this. Though I'm still nowhere professional, and that's going to be probably my whole channel. This is the potato stream. It's not perfect, and it's probably never going to be. With that said, I would say grab your if we're going to do this analogy, grab your inner tube. We're going to jump into this potato stream, and we're going to watch a speed run. And when I mean speed run, we're just going to zip through some stuff that I'm doing, and as it's going on, I'm going to tell you a tale from my past, something that I thought was interesting, something that I feel like, hey, let's just share something. It's an interesting story. I think I have a lot of them, and I think this is a great place to tell it. I love telling, I love talking, and I think that's one of the reasons I have this channel, so might as well use the channel for what I want to use the channel for. And we're going to just float down this potato stream, and I'm going to tell you a story. So, are you ready? Are you buckled in? We're jumping on in. So, I did some soul searching of, what is the story I want to tell? And I've decided, it kind of it bubbled up to the surface of something just to recant. I got my tea. I want to take us back to me in my youth. This is before I was of the legal drinking age. Background information. I had a whole group of friends. In this group, it was two couples, and the one couple had bought a home, but I'm not quite sure willing to share, or if it was a money constraint. I'm going to assume they wanted to sublease. So they and then another group of friends was living there as well. On top of that, the couple that owned the house was, for the most part, kind of dealing with problems in their relationship. When I was hanging out with them originally, before they moved in, they had been split up, and then they had slowly kind of worked back together, and then of course they added these two other friends, a couple, and they had kind of moved in to this house as well, and they were renting from them. Well, that's a little bit of the background. Mostly, the story I want to tell is, what happened is at some point, the wife, who was one of my dear friends, but we were always, at least from my point, we were always platonic. I never felt any, it was a genuine friendship. Well, she was kind of, I guess, looking. I don't know if there was really ever necessarily she was going to act on it. Who knows? It definitely, nothing did come of it. The funny thing is it was this individual that she knew. He was going to be at this bar. He had invited her, so we all went, minus her husband. He stayed home, conveniently, I guess. And I guess, really, my other friends, they didn't go. They had opted out. So instead, I ended up going, and then she brought her stepbrother. So it ended up just being the guy, me, her, and her stepbrother. So we get to the bar. Now, mind you, I'm 20. I'm just before the legal age to drink. The bar we go to was notorious for serving to underage. And at the time, I was kind of unsure whether or not I was going to drink when we got there. When we got there, it was very apparent that while this bar was notorious for letting people underage drink, maybe they had recently gotten into trouble a lot. And so when we showed up that night, it was not like we had been told. As soon as we walked in, we got stamped. The lady behind the bar immediately was eyeballing us, going, "You better do it. Do it. I dare you. Do it. Try to sneak a drink. I'm watching you." And what happened was, as we get there, and immediately the guy that my friend, the wife of, she, again, I guess maybe kind of soul search. I don't know. Was there going to be cheating or any infidelity? I don't know. But, we were there, and we're just kind of hanging out. We were told we might get free drinks, or not free drinks. Well, I guess we were going to get drinks from her stepbrother, because he was way older. And the guy that I guess she was kind of interested in, even though she was married, he was older. But all of us, me and her, were underage. So I just remember sitting at the table, and the guy had kind of walked off. She had walked off, and then it was just me and her stepbrother for a short amount of time. He goes to the bar, gets a whole bunch of shots, brings them back to the table, and me nervously look over, and I'm just seeing daggers from the lady, and she's looking over, and stepbrother's "Here, go on, drink up." And I'm looking at him, and I look over at her, and I look down at the drink, and I'm like, "No, I'm good. And he's like, "No, come on, drink." I was like, "I don't think I can." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, that lady's looking at me." He's like, "I don't mind her." And I was like, "I think I'm gonna mind her." I was like, she's not looking away. It was cringy, because I'd just barely look over, and her head was just locked onto me. She's just staring. She's like, "Go on. I'm waiting to kick you out." And so I'm like, "I'm not doing it." So he slammed all of them. This comes into play later. So I'm not having a good time. I went almost, and here's the thing, I kind of was supposed to be a spy because her husband, he didn't go. I went with her and the guy and her stepbrother. I was told the husband had kind of like pulled me off to the side and he's like, hey, just make sure she don't do anything dumb. Like, just watch out. And so like the whole time I'm there, I'm just like, I don't know why I'm in this situation. But this is kind of, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to get to drink illegally. I'm not going to get to do anything. I don't really want to be here, but now I'm stuck here. And so that was kind of the night for a while. Eventually, she moseyed back over, and then she tried to dance a little bit, but then this, like, old guy that was in the bar, he started hitting on her, and then she was, like, giving me looks like, hey, can you help? So then I kind of got up, and again, like, I had no, like, I'm just trying to be, like, a bodyguard, but, like, she ain't my woman. We were platonic. Like, I'd never felt anything more than just, like, her being a good friend. And now here I'm, like, trying to step up against, like, this old, like, half-drunk old-timer. Well, he wasn't that old, but he was a lot older than us. Like, this man was probably late 30s, realistically probably in his 40s. And here we are, all underage. I guess from his point of view, she was still legal. 20 is still legal. And so here I'm stepping up on this half-drunk man, risking my life. I mean, I didn't really do much, but I did kind of like present myself. And he's like, hey, you just step off, boy. And I was just like, hey, just leave her alone. And I was like, well, I don't want to be a part of this. But I'm a part of it. And so that part we kind of get through. Then we kind of mellow out a little bit. The brother, he keeps coming back over with another drink. And like at this point, we've changed to a different table. And he's like, hey, she ain't looking no more. Just drink up. I got that for you. And of course, I'd look over. And maybe it was me looking over. Maybe if I would have just been ballsy, I don't know. I'm really glad, though, how the evening turned out. Because every time I'd look over, and he'd be like, dude, she ain't looking. Don't worry about it. I'd look over, and sure enough, we would lock eyes. And it was like every time I knew she was saying, oh, I know, you're looking for a moment, but I'm not giving you that moment. I'm just waiting for you. I know you're going to slip up and you're going to take a drink, and I'm kicking you out right then. And I didn't want to get kicked out. I was like, well, what is she going to do? Like, God, if she calls the cops or anything, my parents find out. Like, I was like, I don't want any of that. Like, mm-mm. And at the time, I smoked Blend 27s, Camel Wides, and so the whole time I'm here, I'm smoking like a chimney, just one cigarette after another. I just can't stop. I'm just so nervous. My friend, the wife, she, to the other friend, she all of a sudden comes back and we're kind of hanging out for a little bit. She can't find the guy that we came there with. He's like disappeared, gone. Completely gone. So she's like, hey, can you come with me? I want to go look for him, but I don't feel comfortable. Like, can you just come with me? Let's go look for him. So we get up. The stepbrother, her brother, super wasted at this point. We leave him at the table. He's going, actually, I don't even think he was staying at the table. He's going to get more drinks. He's wobbling around like this man is like already at his limit, but he's still keep going. We leave him. We go looking. We go all through the bar. The bar's not big, but there was a lot of people. We go everywhere, not in there. So she comes up with the idea, well, let's go outside. There's a porch, there's a parking lot, it's kind of big, people go out there sometimes. Let's go out there. We go to the front, we open the door, we start to walk out, and this is the iconic, you hear about this in movies, I'm telling you this, but it's so different experiencing it. It's like a surreal experience. We walk through the doors, and as we walk through the doors, we see a guy. You can't really see his face, but there's a guy. He's pinned to the ground by 3 other dudes. As we're leaving, as the door's opening and we're stepping out, we see a blur of motion. Another dude runs into focus up to the face of the pinned man and kicks him like a football quarterback, like a football line, like a kicker. Like, he just runs up and just punts this man's face. Just full force kick, blood, spit. It was so jarring. We just look, and as you look and see this distorted face on the ground, just recoil and is still held down, and then you look and you're like, hey, that's the guy we're looking for. See, it turns out that guy was a regular player, and probably for his intentions, at some point he was probably looking to get a little bit more from the friend, the wife, than I think he was wanted. He was going to get more because it turns out he had been doing this with multiple women at this bar. And in fact, the last time he had been at the bar, he had actually stolen one of these gentlemen's, actually the guy who punted his face. He had stolen his woman, or I should say, he had been there, and altercation had happened where it came to light that he had done this guy's lady, and I guess I don't know if they were still together or if it caused them to break up or like it just got revealed, but needless to say, he had a problem with it. But this guy, the guy being pinned, the guy we came with, he had some buddies with him. So when this all went down the last time he was here, him and his buddies kicked this guy's ass. While, lo and behold, now we're here, he brought his buddies. So while we're in here in the bar, we go to leave, it turned out he had walked outside. Maybe he had been lured outside, maybe it just was coincidence, but he goes outside. This guy, who he had beat up the time before, now has come back, and he has a posse with him. This posse now pins him to the ground, and they had been beating the shit out of him. We walk out. And here's another thing. They looked over at us, and of course, I don't think we looked like we were a threat in any way. I don't know if at that moment they knew we came with him, because I hadn't seen them, not saying that I hadn't, but I think they had shown up later, so I don't think they knew we were with him, nor that we were looking for him. So we were just a guy and a girl coming out of the bar, and so they just kind of looked up, and they gave us this eyeball, like, hey, you don't bother us, we're doing our own thing, we're kicking this dude's ass, you just stay out of the way, and we're not going to cause you no problems. There we are, just staring at us, and they're kind of beating him up. Well, we had left the door open. Just so happened a couple other people was trying to leave. They see this, and they immediately dart back into the bar and say, hey, yelling at that lady that had been locking eyes with me the whole time, we got a fight out here. And so, all of a sudden, we're kind of pushed off to the side. A whole bunch more people come out, and then they kind of, forced the people on the ground. Well, also, he went to kick him again, and at that point, he was the guy on the ground, the guy we came with. He was, bleeding, and he was very, limber. He had been kicked. I don't know necessarily if he was if he hadn't been stopped, he's gonna snap his neck, but I don't know. The human body is really tough, but sometimes it's really not. And so I don't know, but this guy, the guy we came with, he was looking pretty rough, and I remember hearing one of the guys pinning him basically saying, hey, let's call it here, this is good, we kicked his ass. But the guy still trying to smash his face with his foot. So people come out, there's a whole bunch of commotion. It's just crazy. At this point now, we kind of step in. Well, my friend, the wife, she goes over and is immediately going to his aid, stepping in. We kind of people are saying stuff, a whole bunch of stuff is happening. Then her stepbrother had come out, and one of the guys who wasn't holding him down, but apparently was also a part of this guy's group, real big guy, big country guy. He had kind of bumped into her stepbrother. Well, her stepbrother, drunk as can be, starts talking back, but slobbering, spitting with each word. And he's like, a friend of my sister's my friend. And if you got a problem with him, you got a problem with me. And he's trying to get up in this guy's face, but he was kind of short, and this guy was pretty tall and pretty hulking. Well, as soon as he sees the stepbrother kind of stepping up towards him, this man, without missing a beat, just pulls back and just bam, hits him in the face one time, and he KOs him. He is hit, he falls backwards and is just boom, on the ground, gone. One hit KO. While also, at this point, up on the railing, the guy that we came with that was being kicked on the ground, he's now kind of propped up against the edge of the platform, or the walkway, or this deck, and there was kind of a drop, but there was a railing. Well, he's kind of propped up against it, hanging over the railing. The wife, my friend, she is with him, kind of nursing him, kind of are you okay? Or do we need to get you to the hospital? What's going on? Well, stuff was still being said. People were saying mean stuff. Now at this point, the group that had beat him up was kind of hanging out in the gravel with kind of that drop where there was kind of a couple feet difference. Well, it wasn't enough, because while they're there on the edge, one of the guys, I think it might have been the original guy that kicked him, but one of the guys runs up while they're smarting off at each other and does a running leap, punches that guy, the one we came with, in the face or in the side of the head, and he flops back onto the deck. The lady, who's the bartender, starts yelling, if I see one more person throw a fit, the cops are getting called, you're going to jail, you get the F off of here. And then on top of that, my friend, the wife, she literally was almost hit. Like he hit the guy, but kind of elbowed her. And so she's kind of like dazed and confused. She's mad because like, while she didn't really get hurt, she like almost got hit. And like she is now like kind of like been a mediator where like people have come up to him and she's had to like shove them off. And like she's felt threatened and all that. This whole time I have done nothing. Actually, after her stepbrother had gotten punched, I proceeded to slowly slink away, and then eventually I checked on him, and I kind of walked over to him, patted his cheek, just like it was in the movie, and kind of got him to wake up to see if he was okay, and I helped him get back on his feet. I mean, that's really the only thing I did that was like a helpful assistance, and I got him back on his feet. Though at this point, he was so drunk and the one hit had jarred him. He was just so out of it, to the point that it was almost kind of comical because like here my friend is got her potential cheating man who's been caught cheating. She's kind of babying him, got his arm over her shoulder, and she's kind of supporting him. And here now I got her brother in the same situation. Her stepbrother is kind of, his arms looped around me, and he's just like, oh, you're so great. Like, thanks for being here for us. And so a whole bunch more happened. And it's just so many words were said, cuss words, people saying this. In the end, what happened is everyone was, the lady, the bartender lady just said, I'm calling the cops right now. You can all leave and don't have to worry about answering any questions, or you can stay and you can deal with what the cops are going to say, and you're going to probably go to jail. So I'm done with this. So everybody's going to leave. But now we're at a position where the guy doesn't want to leave. We're sitting on the porch. The cops are on their way, or going to be on their way. And we're afraid that as soon as he gets off the porch and he walks towards the car, because we didn't park very close, we're parked all the way in the back lot. And we're thinking there's no way we're getting this guy to the back of the car. We're all going to be jumped before we even make it there. And so like we're just sitting there, and I'm just like, I think we should just leave and take our chances. I don't want to deal with cops. I don't want to think my parents want to have to hear that I'm in jail, or like, I just don't want any of that. Let's just leave. Let's take our chances. But they didn't want to go. And we're just sitting there, and I'm looking out, and I'm like, I start occasionally walking half off. I walk half towards my car. I'm looking around. I see nobody. No one's in the parking lot hiding out or anything, which is funny because I was wrong. But nothing. So I just keep bugging. Let's go. Come on, we need to go. Because it's like 5 minutes turns into 10 into 15. And I'm like, we're kind of far away from where a cop would be, because we're in where we are is not necessarily the sticks, but it's still kind of rural. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, we may have another 5 minutes, but there's no way we have more than 5. In another 6 to 10 minutes, there's probably going to be cops here, unless it was all a bluff and the lady didn't really call. But I was for sure she did. But then I was like, maybe she didn't, but I'm not going to tell them that. I want to leave. I want to go home. I'm done. Also, the brother was just, he wouldn't, like, I just didn't want to deal with him no more. I'm just like, come on. Because, like, he was just so bad, and then he wanted to drink more. But the lady had already cut all of them off, or him off. Cut everyone. Like, she told us all to leave. So, finally, they're like, okay, let's go. So, we start walking to the car, and we made it almost to the car, and we're getting him into the car, and I look up. Sure enough, here comes a whole group of people, and I'm looking, I'm like, I think that's them. That's like the 5 people that was in his group, or 6, and they're coming this way. They're booking it. So I'm like, quick, everybody get in the car. And like, everyone's cussing. Like, I remember my friend, she's like, oh fuck, and like, everyone jumps in the car, and they're like almost there. And again, this is like so comical, like it's a movie. And I literally jump in my seat, and I slam my door as they rush up. I literally just barely hit the lock button when the guy guy, I'm pretty sure it's the guy who kicked him in the face, but now my memory, I don't know, it could have been a different one, but I'm pretty sure it was him. He comes running at the car, literally collides into the door. His elbow, his knuckles, and his fist just instantly start banging on my window. Now, mind you, I am in the driver's seat. My friend, the wife, is in the passenger seat. No, my bad. Her stepbrother was in the passenger seat. That's right. She was sitting behind me, but he was on the passenger side back seat. So as far removed from the danger, but now me and her are on the side that's being assaulted. So they start pushing my car, banging on the windows, yelling that we unlock the door and let them have the guy. And the whole time, I finally got my voice, and I remember screaming at them behind my inch of glass, my half a quarter, my paper-thin glass that's being pounded on. I remember screaming to fucking leave me alone. I said, I don't want any trouble. I just want to go home. They rode with me. I don't want to deal with this. I can't leave him here. Just leave. Just go. I don't want to deal with you. Just go away. Just walk away. And I remember bargaining with them. Like, I don't think I ever used any harsh language other than just to say, I don't want to effing be here. Just go. Leave me alone. Please don't break my car. I said, I know it's a piece of shit, but it's my piece of shit. And I'm going to tell you, that is a direct quote. I remember saying that. I remember saying it's a piece of shit, but it's my piece of shit. Well, for whatever reason, they did quit. And I finally was able to talk reason with them. I mean, they kept telling me to just open the door and there would be no problem. And I said, I can't morally do that. I said, I just can't. But I don't want you to hurt me or my car. So we're at an impasse. Can you just go away and beat him up another day? Again, this is a direct quote. I swear to you, I said that. I literally said, can you just go away and beat him up another day? And it worked. They left. I immediately started the car and I left. We got home. Well, I went to their home. I didn't live with them. But I did live there. In the sense of I visited. I literally was barely at my house. I was always there. I just didn't sleep there. We get him there. Mind you, we had to take her stepbrother back because he lived out of state, but he was down visiting. So he was just living in the spare bedroom of their mom and dad's place, who was on an opposite block, but just down the road from where they lived in their house. So we're over at their parents' house, and she had some other stuff. She had another stepbrother, and then her stepfather, and at some point, we're all just kind of hanging out, and the stepbrother is telling, for whatever reason, he's now kind of sobered up, and he now decides he's going to be the one to tell the story. So he starts telling the story that I just told all of you. But now he's telling it from his point of view. And in his point of view, this is the amazing piece of cake, stupidest thing. He starts talking about what happened. And in his story, he is telling how he fought 6 people, and I had helped him beat up 6 people, that me and him at one point were back to back protecting each other as we kicked people's asses. And then they finally knocked him down, but oh no, I helped pick him up, fend them off, and then together we continued to kick their asses. He's telling this to the other stepbrother, his full-blooded brother, as far as I know. He's telling this to the dad. He's telling this to the mom. This is all being told, and the whole time it's being told, I'm just sitting there with a shit-eating grin on my face, yeah, I was there. I'm the best friend there is. I was there. I kicked all those bullies' asses. The whole time, mind you, I'm getting death glared by my friend, the sister, the wife, the girl, who actually did get elbowed and almost took a fist to the face. She almost got hurt. She actively was trying to stop people, and she was literally defending him. I hid in the shadows. All I did was help the stepbrother up after everyone walked away, and he's just KO'd laying on the floor. And I was like, I better check and make sure he doesn't die choking on his vomit. And, I mean, I did do that, but I didn't help him fight 5 guys, but here I'm being bragged about. The best part, and I still to this day don't understand, I guess she was so flabbergasted that she just didn't think to speak up. But I don't know, because me and her don't talk anymore. I haven't really communicated with her in years, in a long amount of years. But I don't know if she ever corrected at any point to the other people told that day. Her mom, her stepbrother, and her dad. She sat there. I had the shit-eating grin. I'm living my best life. I'm a hero. I did nothing. She did stuff. Got no credit. No one said anything about what she did. And the whole time he was telling the story, she was glaring at me, shaking her head, but she never commented that he was full of shit. She never corrected him. She never said anything. She just let him talk. And I don't understand why. I still, to this day, don't really know. All I know is I thought it was hilarious that I was for months... Hell, as far as her stepbrother's concerned, he could have his own story that he tells to this day about how me and him beat people up. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. She never corrected him. Maybe she has. This is a long time ago now, but I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. And I mean, I don't know. I was a hero. I was the big hero, and I that's a story of mine that I just find hilarious. I will end it by saying, fast forward, she basically cut ties with that guy and did not have adultery with him, which is good. Though I will say that it was signs of a bigger problem, which is their marriage was falling apart, and it did. As far as I know, I think it just ended amicably, without any of them cheating, which is good. Though, I guess, I don't know if there was necessarily, my memory's a little bad on whether or not, there was infidelity on his part. I don't think there was, or if there was a reveal. I think they parted amicably. Now, I don't think they parted as friends, but I don't remember hearing at any point that, like, they were fighting for, like, I think they divided stuff for the most part equally. She ended up later on down the line getting married again, but then, weirdly enough, she got an annulment like the week after, so I think. Don't hold me to it. But yeah, it's a wild story. I don't hang out with any of those friends no more. I don't even think I should call them friends, though. I'm going to be honest. If I saw any of my main people that I used to hang out with, I would definitely consider them a friend in the sense that I don't know if I'd want to put him like as a focus in my life. I've changed a lot of my ways. I don't do the things that I did then, but I would definitely say that I care enough. I think we had enough shared history that if they popped back up into my life, I would I'd go have lunch with them, have a talk with them, be a helpful light if I could to them. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I mean, I'd have to relook. I'm probably Facebook friends with most or all of them still, even though we don't communicate. But, it's crazy stories, and that was one. In another video, I might tell you some more. I don't know if it'll be that same kind. It'll be a different story, but I got so many stories. And I figured, why not share a little bit about myself? And if you didn't like it, that's fine. It's the real story, though. The real story, and it was an interesting night. If you've made it this far, please, if you liked what you heard and you liked what you watched, because my story has nothing to do with what you're seeing. I'm just telling a story over footage that I did. I'm going to not play anymore. The next footage will be live, so it'll be on Twitch. I don't know when, though. probably probably, well, yeah, I'm not even going to say a time because this is, as of me recording this, is not going to be when you're seeing it, and it's going to be after the fact. So let's just say it'll be soon. Soon is a better term. Other than that, thanks. If you enjoyed, give me a like, give me a comment. Hey, if you enjoyed my story, let me know about it. Tell me you thought it was stupid. Tell me you thought it was funny. If you have your own story that you want, I know this is text, so I don't know. It probably would be kind of hard to do, but if you, depending on how, if you got the time, if you want to share a little blarb on the comment section, I'd love to hear, a very, like an elevator speech, your story, if you got a story to tell. Or, better yet, if there's a topic or something generalized, I don't know, this could be hard to do. If there's something that you think, you pick a topic, and I might have a story associated with that topic, for maybe a later video. Or tell me to quit this job and just work at my real job because my videos are boring. Other than that, I'm going to stop rambling because I feel like I'm rambling. Thanks so much for floating with me, but the potato stream has ended. With that said, I hope you have a great day. No. Have a wonderful day, and I will get you on the next one. Later.